to your officials. Thanks. Just a few questions. I put in a PQ to you, Minister, asking for a copy of the test results for this sanitizer and the amount of methanol that was used in it, but unfortunately it hasn't been answered. Everything else was written about in the answer, but that. What was the amount of methanol that was in the product? And your officials, I'm not expecting you to know the ins and outs of it, your officials can answer if you want. The amount of methanol that was used in this product. Second of all, my understanding going back years in the department that it is a desktop exercise, but then that the team would meet. Am I correct in saying, because of COVID or whatever, that the team was not meeting when these products were being given the PCS numbers? How often is the lab checking these products? How is there a printout of all the different products that has been tested in the lab? And in relation to your 12 weeks that you've talked about of a delay, there are people that has put in for PCS numbers in June and July. They've only been contacted for further information in the last week or 10 days. That's longer than 12 weeks. And am I correct in saying you talked about the numbers are like 370 something or 3 whatever that was given out this year? They were temporary numbers that was given out early on in the year. Isn't that correct? That didn't go. There was sort of a decision made because of the seriousness of the situation in Ireland that these numbers were given out. Am I correct in that? Early on, the PCS numbers were basically thrown out fairly rapid. And was due process done with all PCS numbers in that given time at the very beginning? And the final question is, when do you expect to be, when do you expect that basically the people that have put in for PCS numbers over the last 6 months or 5 months that haven't been processed or got through the system yet? Obviously, there's, thankfully, there appears to be vaccines on the horizon in the next 6 or 8 months. Like there isn't a lot of point in giving a PCS number to them next April or May if we have an injection that we can give somebody to say that you won't be needing the hand sanitizers anymore. So how quick, you talk about putting more people in, how quick is this going to happen? Because we've heard it before, Minister, you came in before, you spoke about this. In fairness to you, you said that it was being ramped up, but the ramping up doesn't seem to be given the answers in the number of applications that are still in.
Thank you, Fitzmaurice. Minister.
Thank you, Chairperson. First of all, in relation to Deputy Brown and the testing. So listen, Deputy Brown, we are testing on a weekly basis at the moment in terms of product that is on the market to ensure, to verify the product that is there, and also ensure that there's confidence around that it does what the label and what it's registered to do. And as I say, there's been 75 of those done in the last number of weeks, couple of months, and there has been no issues arising from a public health point of view as a result of that. In terms of when I was aware of the matter myself, it was the day in which the public notification was made, the public withdrawal notice was public notice was made to the public that I became aware, which would have been the 22nd of October. So it would have been dealt with as an operational matter in the department before that. It wouldn't be unusual for issues like this to be dealt with by the department, but certainly given the nature of this, there's no doubt that it should have been escalated to myself earlier. But the department were dealing with it as they would deal with on an operational basis with any issue like this, so with the confirmatory results preliminary results on the 6th of October and the confirmatory results on the 16th, at which time the withdrawal notice was issued to the company. And it would make the point that the legal obligation is on the company that is supplying this. The legal weight is on them, the legal responsibility is on them to ensure that the product that they are supplying complies with the licence that they have to supply it and is safe. And also, in relation to whenever there's a withdrawal, the legal obligation is on them as well to do that efficiently and effectively. As I say, my department are currently engaged in following through in that, and with that is a process which is ongoing, and certainly in terms of the outcome of that, that's something that we'll be able to comment on further once that's completed. But that's currently an ongoing process. In relation to Deputy Fitzmaurice and the test results, there were varying levels. In relation to the ViroPro, which was initially the OLAF had made contact with us in relation to, and on the back of tests that were conducted in Denmark on ViroPro product, and from the OLAFs, and they contacted the revenue commissioners domestically because they were able to trace that some of this product also came to Ireland, and then that product was confiscated by the department and quarantined, and tests carried out, and there were various levels of methanol. It varied. Do you remember, Donald? Do you have figures? Or yeah. Yeah.
I think 2% is the most allowable, isn't it?
There was a number. There were several different tests done, obviously, of many samples of the product. Yeah, I can give it. I see what I have here. Just in terms of the details. So, there was generally 4 to 10%, but some was much higher. But I will come back to you with detail on that.
4 to 10.
4 to 10%, yeah. Methanol. So, so that product was all confiscated, and then, as I say, the follow-up engagement then between the department with the company and also with the HSE in relation to previous product that would have been received.
Okay.
In terms of, you mentioned as well, Deputy Fitzmaurice, in relation to the staffing and the need to ramp up now the number of.
I mentioned first about say, one time ago, I know in the department they go through it on a desktop, and that's the way it was always done. But then there was a meeting of all the people or the specialists involved to come together. Is it because? Am I correct in saying because of the virus that wasn't achievable?
You also mentioned in relation to temporary PCS numbers. The PCS numbers were issued. It weren't temporary PCS numbers. Obviously, all departments have been impacted in relation to working from home over the last period of time. But certainly in relation to the process of issuing licences, that process is there and has to be followed in relation to how PCS numbers are actually provided. In relation to increasing the throughput, and as I outlined earlier, in the numbers of the 457 currently authorised, that were the significant majority of which were authorised in this particular year. There has been an increase in staffing numbers. So normally it would have been a team of 4 staff who would routinely service the processing of biocidal product registration applications. And that would be in addition to carrying out a range of other duties as well within the Pesticides Control Division. But since the arrival of COVID-19, a number of other staff within the division, approximating to 1.5 full-time equivalents, have been assisting with processing biocidal product registration applications. A further 2 staff from across the wider laboratory have also been assisting with processing registration applications on a part-time basis in recent months. And since the 9th of November, Deputy Fitzmaurice, a further 3 additional staff have been temporarily allocated to the work area, and is planned to bring in 4 more staff to the area to deal with the backlog.